welcome to 1TTD Productions. I'm Tim, I'm Tom, and this is Derp. Derp! So, what have we got on the cards today, Tom? Well, Tim, we have an unfortunate story of the North West Nobblers on their way home from an unbelievable win against the Necromancers to actually find a really large group of pissed off orcs. Turns out that Ripper, who got insulted by the Necromancers and sorted it out by solving his own team problems, actually was supposed to play for Bugman's Bloody Buggerers, who seemed pretty pissed off that he didn't show up for the match and as such tracked down the North West Nobblers, who had no idea this is going on and have decided to punch them to death, which, as you can see, is probably going to be very messy and not a good time for the Goblins. But these plucky little buggers are still here, still going, and although they don't have Ripper with them, they hired instead Bomber Dribblesnot, just as mental, not as useful, twice as explosive the fun though. Back over to you, Tim. Thanks for the update, Tom. Derp! Shut up, Derp. Let's go down to the pitch and see what's going on. Down at pitchside, it looks like the Orcs have won the toss and opted to kick to the Goblins. So they're going to be receiving the ball first and then getting quite a beatdown from the Orcs second. Orcs have gone with their standard lineup of all the big guys at the front, blitzers round the side, and a Goblin standing around wondering why he's even on the pitch. Over on the Goblin side, they want nothing to do with that troll. Troll's on the outside, big gap in the middle, hoping that the troll doesn't actually figure out what's going on, and then a lot of goblins around the outside. Bomber seems pretty protected at the back, and there's a chainsaw hanging around as well, so this looks like it could get interesting quick. Let's see what's going to happen with the kickoff, and from there, the match. Any bets on this one, Tom? Yeah, probably a lot of dead goblins, Tim. Sounds about right. The high kick is up and Tugsniv is underneath it. If you remember from last match, Tugsniv was the standout little goblin, managing to survive all manner of attacks and throws from Ripper, even scoring himself a touchdown. Now the little bugger is all kinds of dodgy and nimble. On the line of scrimmage, Edfar hasn't got a clue what to do as River Stench shows him the way and punches a Black Orc into the floor. But not to be outdone, coming out from behind, oh my word, Bomber Dribblesnot has taken out a troll and a Black Orc with no respect for his own team's safety. What a fantastic move from the little goblin. Now the goblins seem to have seized on an opportunity for a bit of 4-on-1 violence. Unfortunately that one's a Black Orc and the 4 are a goblin, so it seems pretty fair. And it looks like they've just managed to shove him, and that Black Orc looks pretty angry now. As the goblins close in for safety, the orcs try and pick themselves up off the floor. The troll still hasn't got a clue why he's even on the floor, looking a bit shocked as he realizes that he's not stood up anymore. But the orc on the outside, the blitzer, comes in. Ooh, you can't even take down a goblin. The dodgy, nimbly little guy wants nothing to do with that and is out of there. And he follows up round the corner, same as the orcs on the other side, pinching in on the goblins, leaving the thrower and a little goblin back as safety, making sure that if anything does get through the meat grinder of orcs, it's not gonna go very far. And as the orcs rush up, the goblins come down to meet them, Mork leading the way with his chainsaw, which does absolutely nothing. The troll, finally getting his act together, realizes he's in a Blood Bowl match and shoves a Black Orc out of the way to free up some goblins to go deal with that orc blitzer. And here we go. Gutstump. Oh my word, Gutstump has put Urzog on the floor. It is shocking. Have you ever seen an uppercut like that from a goblin? I don't know whether the orc is just stunned out of shame or stunned at what just happened. But either way, it's nothing short of a miracle. Over on the other side, River Stench puts another Black Orc down, pushing them back and getting right into the thick of it, as one of the goblins sneaks away from the orcs on the sideline, letting Bomber Dribblesnot line up, accurately throw, miss completely, and the bomb blows up harmless. I don't think I Puke knows he's in a match, Tim. I don't think so, Tom. He hasn't moved, since we started. It does not look good for one little goblin surrounded by a bevy of black orcs, but somehow he's managing to stay on his feet as he is getting passed around more than a bull during an elf match. You would have thought that one of them would be able to injure them, but here comes Subsh, the blitzer. He's going to show them how it's done, and he puts that goblin on his backside, but still can't seem to get through his armor. Wonders will never cease as the blitzers move in deep into the goblin cage. In the backfield, Gimlas does his best to push away the Orc blitzer, although it almost goes terribly wrong, and puts him on his backside, but he luckily gets the shove in there. Down on the line to scrimmage, up gets the goblins to surround Subsh just for the troll Edfart to come rampaging back in and blitz him off his feet, revenging his little goblin buddy who got punched just beforehand. As the goblins surround the blitzer, even the bull carrier is getting in on the action as Mork brings in the chainsaw. Turning round, he is going for the orc on the floor. Surely this has to be illegal, Tim. Well, under normal circumstances, Tom, it would be, but it looks like the goblins are refs, probably from the same team at short notice. Riverstench is in the middle of the pitch, swinging left and right, puts another black orc out of his way. He is doing everything he can to stay on his feet. Oh no, Bomber Dribblesnot has succumbed to goblin accuracy and blown himself up with bombs. What a turnover. Derp! That's right, Derp. That was not a smart idea. As you can see, the orcs are moving in close with the blitzers, putting a little bit of pain on the goblins at the back, but they are holding up surprisingly well. The last blitzer comes round, punches the goblin square in the face, but somehow he has not put him off of the pitch. Seems that these little goblins are hanging on in there. Has anybody told the orcs, though, that this is a grudge match and they're supposed to be killing people, not playing pat a cake with them? Safeties at the back move round to stop the goblin expansion down the wide angles, and let's see what the goblins can do in response. It starts off with Edfart not having a clue what's going on. Let's be fair, he's a troll. Mork comes back in with the chainsaw, but it is not doing much against that big thick armor of the orcs, as Bomber Dribblesnot comes back in to make the cage a little bit stronger, as the goblins position again for what looks like another foulathon on the orcs. After they shove out Subsh again and put him on his backside, but his armor is holding up good, and here he goes. The ref is not looking, he's stomping on the orc, but it turns out the other ref was looking, and he is sent straight off. That's the end of the match for Nagbone. He's happy, he's safe. Let's see what the orcs have got in response. And it starts off with Smash Liver putting Gutless on his backside, although his armor holds out, and my word, the troll has managed to make it up just in time to see his black orc buddy punch a goblin's face out the back of his head. Looks like most of his teeth are still in his fist. I suppose that'll make for an interesting knuckle duster. It sure will. Up at the top, the blitzer turns on Gimlas, and his luck has run out as well, as he is taking a fast trip off the pitch and into the injury box for the rest of the match. And that leaves a massive opening for the Orc blitzer to come across. Oh my god, Togsnip almost Derp! Derp, derp, derp! That's right, Derp. He is not an elf. There is no way he was making that, and it's a turnover for the goblins. And now that Edfart has had a couple of seconds to gather his wits, he knows exactly what he's doing, and that is punching the Black Orc so hard it's gonna be taking a while before he knows what's going on again. But not to be done, he rushes into the midfield to set up a bit of a screen against the Orcs, followed closely by Tugsnip, who gets up and steals that ball right out from under the Orcs' noses. Oh my word, that is not a view I need to see, Tom. No, it is not, Tim. Let's reverse time and make sure we don't see that again. Good idea. Bomber Dribblesnot comes rushing in to add a little bit of support, as Riverstench decides to take aim at the Black Orc, and they both go down. But in the ruckus, the Black Orc is dead. Vara Goffkarf is dead. He was crushed under Riverstench as he took him down. What a turnover. What a time. That's right, Tom, but unfortunately it leaves a massive hole at the back that the Orcs are looking to exploit. but they cannot tackle Tugsniff. He slips the block and stands next to the troll for safety. The other troll goes stupid though. The orcs don't even know why they brought him. The black orcs come round, forming a bit of a screen to make sure that goblin's not going anywhere, as Subs punches Gut Stomp in the face. He cannot stand next to an orc for that long and not expect to get seriously hurt. That's right, Tim. When you look as annoying as that, everyone's going to want to punch you in the face. Orcs managed to set up a nice little screen around Tugsniv. Let's see how it holds up. Holds up pretty well, Tom. As you can see, it does result in a little bit of shoving, but that's quite lucky, because without it, it would not leave them any time at all. Those goblins take that opportunity to disappear quicker than a fart in a wind tunnel, leaving those orcs and the troll far as they can behind them. Another bit of shoving from the trolls, which is going to free up a lot of space for those goblins to come down and really set up a bit of a defense around the ball, but it does leave their chainsaw Morkrag at the back by himself, and he does the only sensible thing. That's right, throws the chainsaw at himself, because it's safer than being hit by 3 orc blitzers. Does it cause a turnover though? That's right. But what's going to be done with them? Seems like the troll is their choice. Comes running down the pitch, gives those goblins a little bit of a shove. Not quite what the orcs wanted, but at least he made it down there, leaving the only other option as the goblin to wrap around for a bit of defense. But it seems, oh my word, he did not notice the goblin stood right behind him, who's tripped the orc. That's left things wide open at the bottom. You see one goblin come up to support the trolls, make sure they know what's going on. Bomber dribbles not, gets right in front of the goblin, gives him a bit of a holding while the other goblin comes in. Tugsniv lays out the tiny little orc goblin, and he is taunting them right by the finish line. Trolls at the back, putting a little bit of a shove on. This looks all but over for the first half, barring a last-minute throw teammate from the orcs. Things seem pretty set. The thrower goes down to a troll, and really, this just leaves the goblins setting up some defense around the ball, leaving it for the troll and the orcs to see what they can do. They're going for another blitz, but he is too stupid to figure out that the goblins have already run off. Oh! It is over. It seems that the orcs in frustration have gone into the dugout and decided to kick their manager to death. That is the end of the match. What a shocking result. It seems that the goblins have pulled out a tiny win at the end of it, as the orcs have left the pitch in disgrace. What a surprise.